I'm Judea Murray, and here on a positive note, we highlight the most heartwarming stories from all around our tri-state that move and inspire us. And today, we begin in Brooklyn, where there's a group playing tennis with a wild card. They can't see the ball. Check it out.
You hear the ball bounce.
Beautiful shot.
You swing timely.
Sharon knocked a cone down.
Yeah, it's funny because you would never think that a blind person can play tennis.
I mean, if I had to serve with my eyes closed, I don't think I would hit it very often.
This is Court 16 in Brooklyn, New York. On Thursdays, they welcomed The Sound of Tennis. It's a skill-building class for the visually impaired.
I'm one of the newest tennis coaches with Court 16, and when I started early in December, part of my training was to learn how to work with the Sound of Tennis program.
Before this, Daniel says he had never worked with someone who struggled to see, but he tells me he quickly learned that
even though they have some visual impairments, it doesn't impede them from playing tennis.
a common question these players get: how do you hit the ball if you can't see it coming? The game has been altered in a couple of different ways that make it a little bit easier to play. For one, you can hear the ball.
And we're able to incorporate some jingle balls.
Those make it a lot easier.
We're able to use softer equipment, smaller courts.
Coaches also put rubber spots on the floor so players know where to stand for each exercise.
And it's very beneficial, so they're able to experience playing tennis.
And just like anyone learning a new sport, mastering the skill takes time.
I never played tennis, really. I may have watched a game or two, but never actually tried to play.
Honestly, I thought to myself, like, oh, well, I'll just try it. Probably won't work, but at least I'll say I tried. And then they make it so easy. They break it down, how to swing, how to hit the ball, and it just started to get easier and easier every time.
From my lefties, it will be a forehand. It's been absolutely incredible. I think my students have taught me more than I've taught them. What I'm really most impressed with is that they're their own instructors, that of course myself and my colleague Alana will provide technical instruction, but then I really see the teamwork with these guys. Ready, John? Here we go, bud, let it bounce.
Most of the participants are here because of a partnership Court 16 has with the Helen Keller Foundation.
This is one of the services that the Helen Keller program, they offer. So I did the book club, I did group therapy. There's a couple of different things that they offer. So I'm gonna do everything they offer. I'm visually impaired, so I gotta try it. You never know, you can't knock something unless you try it, right?
So you tried it?
And I like it, and I'm saying.
With their new friends and a whole heap of new skills, these guys are serving up newfound confidence cross-court.
No matter what life throws at you, it's simple. You just gotta face it, tackle it head on, and you'll survive. I don't think negative. I can't. God gave me another day. And guess what? I'm gonna do everything I can to enjoy it every day I have left.
Nice. I love it.
Getting to talk to each of them after class was incredible. Of course, everyone has a different story of how they became enrolled in the Sound of Tennis, but now that they're together, they all want the same thing: to work on friendships and backhands. Now on Long Island, an officer stepping in just in the nick of time. Wait until you hear this story.
I can't be more thankful. I'm happy to be here.
Gary Peterson has a new outlook on life after nearly dying 3 months ago. He's praising emergency crews and his neighbor for their quick response.
They were able to establish a pulse, which I didn't have.
Gary went into cardiac arrest in December, but just before that, he was having fun outside with his neighbor's son, teaching him a few moves on a skateboard.
Back in 1966, I was a Nassau County skateboard champion, so I figured I'd give the kid show him a couple moves.
When Gary walked back inside, he says he fell asleep. His wife said he started making an odd noise, so she started to shake him. When he didn't wake up, that's when she shouted for her neighbor across the street for help, who happens to be a retired fireman.
He put him on the floor, he was doing a CPR, and I called 911.
I just went through the motions of doing the CPR and praying that the police got there.
When police medic Paul Brodowski arrived, he used a defibrillator and then shocked Gary and gave him an IV. He says Gary regained a pulse inside the ambulance.
That's a great thing. We don't see that happen often.
Dr. Andrew Dream praised Nassau police officers, medics, and Brian for their level of care and expertise.
They had already done all the hard work in the field for me to just get my diagnostics and make sure that he was stabilized once he had a return of his vital signs.
As for Gary, who turned 72 today,
A lot of things that you take for granted are things that you appreciate now, and life is a lot different now. I think a lot differently.
The police commissioner says everyone should try to take CPR lessons. You never know, you could save a life one day. Now you know what that sound means. It's time for a feel-good fact, and this one's about a beloved toy that apparently was never supposed to be a thing. You guys, the slinky was created by accident. Richard James, a naval engineer, was trying to design a spring that would help stabilize boats in choppy waters. According to the Toy Hall of Fame, though, after accidentally knocking a spring off the shelf, James was amazed at how it walked down instead of just falling. And the rest, as they say, is history. In 1943, his spring eventually became the prototype for the toy. Just more proof that even our mistakes can be turned into something positive. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was your feel-good fact. I knew we had some talented children in our tri-state, but a TV show called Little Big Shots is bringing out the heavy hitters. First up is 7-year-old whiz kid Soborno Isaac. He looks cute and adorable, but don't let the innocent face fool you. This boy genius solves physics equations for fun. That's him on NBC's Little Big Shots being interviewed by Melissa McCarthy. Soborno wrote a book on anti-terrorism and says he has at least 2 other book ideas up his sleeve right now. He even lectures at colleges. Now, among all of the various awards he's received over time, he remembers a letter from former President Barack Obama.
President Obama had sent me a letter. Only one thing remained in my mind. How could a 4-year-old with the real name of Soborno Isaac Berry receive a letter from the President of the United States himself?
Soborno, with a resume like yours, I'm sure the last thing on former President Obama's mind was the quirkiness of your name. Keep making waves. The sky is the limit. But you'll probably create a theory that proves you can go beyond it. And smart guys, Soborno wasn't the only child representing our tri-state on the TV show. This is 10-year-old Samaya Gabriel from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. She plays 5 sports: tennis, lacrosse, training, basketball, and boxing. This athletic prodigy even performs with the Harlem Globetrotters when they're in town. Are you surprised? Look at that control.
Always follow your dreams. Like, if you have to do something, don't listen to anybody who say you can't do that. So just do what you have to do and do what you love.
Samaya says one of her life's goals is to play Kevin Durant one-on-one. Now, somebody better tell KD to work on his defense, because from the looks of it, little Samaya will drive right past him. Now, I want to introduce you to a Bronx man who always looks on the bright side of things. No matter his struggles, his power of positivity has never wavered. Take a look.
Since Isaiah Jenkins was born, it's been one thing after another. Doctors told his mom he wouldn't live past 5 months, his heart stopping twice due to asthma.
I'm just truly appreciative.
Well, he beat those odds. Then at 14, found out he had kidney disease.
But it turns out I had strep throat for 5 weeks, and it was attacking my kidneys.
Then, after experiencing painful, long headaches and seizures around 16 years old.
And then one day I just passed out.
That led to 2 brain surgeries for a rare condition resulting from a defect at the back of the head where the brain meets the spinal cord. His mother, by his side through it all. It seems he just can't catch a break, even though you'd never be able to tell.
So I just deal with it. I'm not gonna let it ruin my day or anything.
The past 2 years, his kidneys have severely declined to the point where they are not functioning. He just got home recently from spending an entire month at Montefiore Medical Center, and now is doing dialysis treatment at home for 6 to 8 hours a night. Reluctantly, at first, he posted his story to Instagram.
Going on social media, it actually showed that it's a lot more good in people than you think.
His strength and persistence inspiring others.
God forbid I don't make it, I want the story to continue to motivate other people so they can I guess fight for whatever they're going through. They just keep fighting.
He's not quitting, and he's going day by day, but is in dire need of a kidney. When he gets through this, he says he's hoping to write a book about everything he's gone through to pay it forward. But right now,
that's why I need someone to be watching this and decide maybe they want to donate, and maybe they're the match, and maybe they could save my life.
Isaiah's blood type is O positive, so he can only receive a kidney from an O donor. We have more info on how you can enter the National Kidney Parent Exchange Program on news12.com.